Standard deviation is another calculation that allows us to look at the spread of a set of data. So the two methods we've looked at previously include the interquartile range and the range. Both of those measures measure the spread of data around the median. This new measure, the standard deviation, is another way to measure the spread, but this time we're measuring how spread out the data is around the mean. So the standard deviation is a number, similar to the interquartile range and the range, and we can calculate that again on our calculator with the same stat calculations that we've been using so far. So you can see on the calculator there I've entered the 5 pieces of data in example A, so 3, 6, 8, 11 and 12. So when I go into the menu, choose statistics, stat calculations, one variable statistic, and OK. My data list, the heading on that column was data. OK, and so I've done my stat calculations that we've been quite used to by now. So the measure of standard deviation we haven't highlighted just yet. So as you scroll through the list there, you'll see the SX. That represents the standard deviation. So the one below it, sigma x, is another measure of standard deviation for the whole population, but we're only really interested in the sample standard deviation, so the SX calculation is the one we're after. So for part A, if I was going to list there the standard deviation for data set A, correct to 2 decimal places, the standard deviation is 3.67. Now you'll notice in example B, same set of data except the last number is different. The last number is not 12, the number then is 30. So if I go back here and change that 12 into a 30, you can see what happens to the standard deviation. So the standard deviation increases pretty dramatically. So all that means is, for the example A, that first set of data, the standard deviation was a much smaller number than for set B. So all that means is, because the number is bigger for the standard deviation in B, it means the data set, or the data in set B, is more spread out around the mean than the data set in set A.